stuff, and we had one of our brothers type in the comments accountability. So I don't want to ask for help, and then people reach out to give us help and not use input. So today we're going to talk about accountability. I would even go as far to say, just a better accountability. Moving forward. What are we going to do with the knowledge that we have now? Because doing the same thing and expecting different results is insanity. And some of us still stay hanging up at the park drinking. Some of us still running up in and out them clubs. Some of us is still doing things that we know what the outcome is going to be eventually. And what I'm saying, I ain't no judge, juror, executioner, and I say whatever floats your boat, do it. But today our topic is accountability, and we just welcome anybody who may be out there listening to, chime in, tap in, and give us your input on it. I wrote down some things, and I know a lot of people just have things right off the top of your mind that you could think about as far as accountability goes. When I start to, get my information and definitions, I just start thinking about, just accountability for my life, accountability for where I am in my life, accountability for where I plan on being in the next few years of my life, accountability on trying to take one day at a time, accountability for prioritizing. Just, it's just a plethora of things, a lot of stuff that goes with that word, depending on where you at mentally, I would say emotionally and spiritually, and that's about all I have.
Yeah. Well, again, let's talk. We're gonna dive down into it, and I want to thank Myron because that's who shot this topic at us, and I appreciate his input. But we're gonna talk about accountability in a lot of different forms, about making it count. And how and what that looks like. So we're just doing some basic introductions, thanking y'all for y'all support. If you want to follow us or join, subscribe on YouTube. It's at Victor Beecham 3345. Just jump on in and comment everywhere because we're trying to open this up to a lot of different social media platforms. I'm believing next week we're going to add TikTok on, and we'll be able to go live there and interact. And we got a lot of great things planned ahead. But as we begin to think about accountability, right, we got to be accountable. And it's so much that's prevalent to that subject right now today, right? And it starts with us. We can't hold nobody accountable if we're not. No matter what we got going on, no matter the choices that we're making, because we done talked about the choices, and we done talked about the fear, and we done talked about the change, we done talked about the shame, and we didn't have a layout of topics. For us, we just trusted our spirit and began to have this conversation in hopes to reach our community, the community, because we no longer support or want a hood. We no longer support or want just a neighborhood. We want a community. I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. Our people contribute $1 trillion a year into the national economy. And if we as a people would just come together, and when I say a people, I'm talking specifically to my melanated folks right now, but as a people as a whole, if we got $1 trillion, how much more power and movement will we have if everybody just came together at the level to where we're doing business with each other and we're holding each other accountable? When we see things going on that we don't get involved in, and I know that a lot of people like, it ain't got nothing to do with me, it ain't my business. And I want you to know that if we're not held or holding ourselves to a level of accountability when we see injustice and we see things going wrong, I can guarantee you It's going to wind up on your doorstep soon. Because if we don't do nothing now and holding ourselves accountable, when it becomes us, the ones that are being persecuted and martyred and doing all that other stuff, we're going to be looking for somebody to help. But we wasn't helping when we seen them struggling. That's accountability. You hold yourself to the same level as you would want or expect someone to have that's wearing the other pair of shoes or the other pants or the other skirt or the other dress, or the person that sees like you see. And we step up. We step into it and we say what we got to say. And yeah, it's a chance. There's a 50-50 chance that things could go bad, but it's already bad. So how much more worse could it get? See, I understand, and I've learned over the years that if you won't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
I mean, it's just like, I mean, we seen it like in a cultural sense, like when we grew up, you know, you had cats that didn't play. There was certain cats they knew, okay, don't mess with him because he gonna hold you accountable. I mean, he gonna go upside your head. It's bullies. Bullies only bully people that they can get away with bullying. So it's just, you know, it's in a sense, it's kind of like the same thing with us being accountable for our lives, being accountable for just what our children see, being accountable for, you know, are you, you know, and I'm not trying to, I'm talking to me while I'm talking to you. Try to, you know, conceal as much things as you can from your children, from, you know, just accountability. Hold yourself in a certain light around the people that we are put here to nurture and to mentor and to you know, just plant a seed in their little hearts and in their little minds that will, you know, that will grow into something good. I have a few friends that I know, you know what I'm saying, that I met along the years, and they were some Latino friends of mine, and they were banging out of control, and then their kids were banging out of control, and it's like they say, generational curses, but they can only go by what they see. And like I say, and I'll say it all the time, environment is stronger than willpower. You can be a square from Delaware, but if you start hanging around people, you start hanging around Crips, you're going to start saying cuz. You start hanging around Bloods, you're going to start all the little attributes and all the little acronyms they use, you're going to start using them. So being accountable for your surroundings, being accountable for who you expose yourself to, being accountable for what you allow yourself to be exposed to. Now we know better. We're grown. Back then we didn't know. Back then I didn't know better. I'll put it on me. I can't speak for everybody, but I'll put it on myself. What am I gonna do? This is what I ask myself. What am I gonna do with what I have now? And a lot of you probably have seen it, but every little nugget I get, I like to wear it out. Every good knowledge, every piece of good information I hear, I like to share. And the man said there's two MFing things that you can't do nothing about. That's yesterday and tomorrow. What are we going to do with our today? You know what I'm saying? I had an incident a while ago, and a young man told me some things about, oh, you're never this and you're never that. And it just, you know, just a little argument, wasn't nothing. But I like to come away from every situation with something that you can take, you know, you can learn from it, because you learn in arguments, you learn in different types of things. That's how we grow, trial and error. But if we're still here, what are we going to do with our right now? We didn't dodge the bullets. We didn't dodge the pen. We didn't dodge the fentanyl. We didn't dodge the cocaine. We didn't dodge the Sherm. We didn't dodge the alcohol. We did all this. We're still here. What are we going to do? Accountability for what we know. Accountability for where we've been. Accountability for what we've done. Accountability for where we're going to go, what we're going to do, and how we're going to do it. And it's just a plethora of things that come with this topic. And I thought it was great. And it's a great topic to talk about, and for any man, woman, boy, or girl who's willing to, you know, just place that mantle on their lives and just take a little bit more accountability for being more accountable. Accountable with getting up early and not cussing everybody else out because you late to work. You the one that pushed snooze, and it's something as simple as that. And accountability for being a good worker at work. I mean, it's just a host of things that this topic can apply to, that we can apply to. And I would just go as far as to say, if now that we are, we're more seasoned, some of us, what are we going to do with our right now? How are we going to use our accountability on our right now? What are we going to do with what we know? You know what I'm saying? Accountability for doing the right thing, and accountability for doing the wrong thing, even though you're getting away with it and you know you're not supposed to be doing. I mean, it's just a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Help me out, brother.
No,
You know what
I'm
saying?
listening because you talk about some good stuff. You know, I want to thank Cubula, my cousin here, my brother Ben and popped in. I appreciate y'all support. But you know, if y'all have any comments, you got to do is just type them in and we'll speak them out. You know, but he's talking about some real stuff because we have to hold ourselves accountable. It's real simple. Accountable. If you make a choice or a decision to do something that's detrimental to someone else, you're the one that got to be held accountable for that.
Yeah.
You got to be clear on the choices that you make every day because you have to live that life now in the present. You know, you talk about we can dodge bullets and sometimes we wasn't able to dodge them.
Yeah.
But see, I had to hold myself accountable even in those situations because I put myself in a place to be shot. I put myself in a situation to where I was running from the police or running from whoever or whatever was going down.
Mm-hmm.
But until we are open enough, and I said to you as I said to me, as my brother would say, but until we're able to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we've done, how can we even be accountable for the things that we want to do? You can't erase the past. It's an experience. And we all have to be accountable for that time and error when we did what we did and we made the choices that we made. But today is a new day. And like I said, no more hoods, no more neighborhoods. We need communities. You know, I think that this platform is not really structured to be politically correct because we have to make a choice on accountability even in where we stand. But it's easy when it's not Republican or Democrat or independent, when it's just accountability and right.
I would even go as far as to say we look at our culture. You know what I'm saying? It's not a black or a white thing, but just look now. Look at the culture. Look. I mean, you have eyes. If you open up your eyes to see, you can see what's going on. And our culture is so strong. So we need to take accountability for that and in some type of way take that power back and restructure it into something a little bit more than you know what I'm saying? A little bit more than all the other stuff. I mean, we can go back and say, and I know Pooh Shiesty is kind of like, maybe a little bit young to be talking about something that the Wyans be talking about, but look at it. I mean, even his father, accountability for why would you it's just things don't make sense and it's right in our face and it's like ain't nobody doing nothing. So I'm praying and I'm hoping that we can start something and I'm willing to be a part of it. I don't have all the ideas, but I do have a heart for change, and I just want to try and spread something good and have something someone somewhere can look into and maybe just get inspired about it to just change their life. Maybe we can say something on this show that'll make some kid that just came home from college not go back to the block and hang out with the homies, not go and maybe sag low to the park and get hit by a stray bullet, or just take a hit of fit and take a joint that's been dipped with fentanyl or you know what I'm saying? Because everybody in your face ain't rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time it'd be people that's really, really close to you. But it's not about no messy stuff, but it's just about trying to spread some knowledge and encourage and be a mentor to someone who didn't get it or someone who may need it out there. Because I had to learn by trial and error. I didn't have anyone to teach me a lot of the things. And a lot of mistakes I made had someone that taught me and I could have seen it coming. it would have helped me a lot, and I maybe would have been a little bit further on than I am in life. You know, I thank God and I appreciate what He has done, and I wouldn't trade my journey for nothing in the world. But I would love to have had someone um, to talk to me about these things that we're talking about now, that we're sharing now. And I don't know it all. I'm open for anything that would help us, that would enhance this show, that would help us to move forward, that would help this show to be a beacon of light or to be something positive in someone's life, and help.
Right.
And we you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's really all I'm here to do, you know. And I appreciate Myron for dropping in the comments, and I was telling my brother that it's not fair to ask for help, and then when people reach out, don't give it to them. So that's why I chose.
Well, that's accountability.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why we chose the topic, and I thought it was a great topic, and it's kind of scary because when you think there's a lot of things in our life that we can all tighten up on, and you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't trying to pull the scab off nobody's sore, but we all got areas in our life that we can do better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That we can do better in, and I think accountability is a good place for all of us to start. You know?
Well, you know, you had said something when we were talking about it. You said we were talking about accountability, and you said something about make it count, or
make it count for something.
Right, make it count.
Accountability for making it count for something. All the years you spent in the pen, all the fights, all the guns, all the shootouts, all that, and you made it now, and then you just sitting around. What? Make it count for something. All the jobs that you didn't apply for, that you didn't think you could get, now you're just sitting around, wowsy, woe is me. Not making no moves. I mean, nothing from nothing brings nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who this is for, and I hope I'm not offending anybody. But if you don't do nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing. If you don't try, you'll never know. And no ain't a bad word if you didn't have it anyway. You never know unless you ask. So I don't know who that may apply to or who may be listening, but you know, we just got to be accountability for. You know, we got to be accountable for our right now, and make it count for something. Make all those years count for something. Make the blessings that God has given you, all the prayers and all the deals you cut, and all, you know what I'm saying? Make it count for something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm getting a lot of people that are commenting here from the chat I started, but y'all gotta forgive me, I'm a little slow. So if you're gonna comment, I see the hearts and I see the power, the strong signs, and I'm seeing all this stuff. But what I ask you to do is, in the particular live that we're having, you see I commented. Just text there or comment there. But we have to make it count. Like my brother said, I don't have no regrets for nothing that I lived through and the experiences I have. But the only thing I do regret in those things is that the situations where it affected others. My experience is my experience, and I chose that. And nobody couldn't have made that choice for me but me. But I still got to be accountable for the choices that I made for others that didn't have a choice in that. See, and when we get to the point in our lives to where it's no longer about us, we finally are transitioning from boys to men. Call it what you want to.
Yeah.
Because a grown man is going to be accountable. Yeah. And he's going to not be accountable because he have to. He's going to be accountable because he want to.
And in some choices, you're not going to have. In some situations, you're not going to have a choice.
Well,
because if you're doing something you don't have, if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, and you get caught by them other guys, they're going to make you be accountable for it. And
the other guys.
Yeah.
The other guys.
You're going to be accountable until your release date, or you hand that number back.
That's right.
So either way it go, you can, it's thank God for free will. And then, sometimes I wish we didn't. I wish once you gave your life to Christ, you just do right all the time. But that's why He gives us free will, because, it's choices. It's choices. I mean, and it's crazy because all truths are parallel. And in every show, a show prior to that, some of the topics come, kind of bleeds into the next.
Right.
Bleeds into the next.
And that's what I was saying about how we didn't script this. We did our research and we got better understanding what we were talking about, but we weren't sitting down and said, at this point you say this or I say that, because it's fluid. It's like water. It seeks its own level.
Right.
It's like light in darkness. It's going to shine regardless, because we don't have an agenda.
Right.
We just want to make a neutral, safe place for people to have real conversations.
Yeah,
But-
well, I have an agenda. I have an agenda to help. I want to help, and I want to be productive, and I want us to be a force to be reckoned with. Hopefully, we can create something that when we show up after they didn't down one of our babies, when we show up after they didn't create